What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of my channel. My name is Yangji, and today I will be talking to you guys about a topic that is not very much talked about, especially amongst us millennials. And today I want to be talking about why I quit my corporate job when I was 27, which is about 3 years ago, and how I felt and what led me up to the point of quitting. So, before we begin today, if you guys have not yet already, please subscribe to my channel. And you guys will receive notifications on my weekly new videos on my journey as an entrepreneur and how to become an entrepreneur and make it on your own. Now, I'm going to be talking about what really drove me to the point that I felt like I really needed to quit my corporate job, and I've listed 3 reasons which, are pretty solid reasons to me, and what meant the most to me when I decided that I wanted to quit. So, I am going to talk about each of them here, so it's going to be a little bit longer of a video. It's going to be about 15 minutes, but I'm going to be brief and precise. So, number 1 is what's most important to me was because I was no longer passionate about my job anymore. And this was a really weird feeling to me because I've gotten the job for, what I always dreamt about when I was graduating from college. And I was working in corporate actuarial. So, the background is, I went to school and I was really good at mathematics, so I really wanted to do something that relates to math and that uses that skill that I have. And I thought I wanted to get into actuarial and work in insurance and finance. So I was at a job for about 2 years, my first job, and then I went to the next job for about a little bit more than a year, so totaling about almost 3 years, about 3 years in the same industry. And after the 3 years point, I just felt like something was not right with how I felt about my job. This is because I couldn't really figure out why at first. I was super excited when I first got the job. And once I got through, 3 years working in the same industry and doing almost the same things, I could not find the passion in myself in really progressing in this industry or in my career. So I had to figure out what was wrong, and it took me some time. This happened about in 2015, and I was really just taking the time to figure out what I needed to do and what I wanted to do to actually make myself feel more stimulated in terms of work, in terms of personal life, which are pretty correlated to me. So I had to figure out why I was not passionate about my work anymore, and I started doing side hustles. At one point I was a wedding suits salesperson. So, on the weekends I would actually go out and sell wedding suits in a business where me and a few of my friends, partnered up to do. And, I found a lot more excitement in that. I'm not sure why at the time. Maybe it was because, the idea of just being able to run my own business and being able to run it in my own way and just being able to make mistakes and be creative with it. That was really exciting to me. And what happened was, when I get time off over the weekends, I would just figure out how to make more sales. And, instead of like doing the stuff that I used to do in my earlier 20s, where I would just go out on the weekends, I would actually find more excitement to actually go and develop this business, try to make more sales, try to do better marketing, try to get more leads. And I thought that was very exciting for me, at least in that stage of my life. sooner or later, I just felt like I was not passionate about what I was doing in my career anymore, which was, just being very stationary at a desk job and making calculations, recommendations based off spreadsheets. So that was number one for me. I also think that passion is a very loaded word. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to love something to me. I think passion means, for me at least, it means that I have a goal and that I really want to commit to this goal. And at that time I really wanted to develop this business. And that was the passion for me. And even though there are going to be things in the process where you don't enjoy doing, such as, driving, making calculations on, what you need to do for your business, just the small little errand things, those not necessarily have to be you don't really have to be passionate about it, but you feel relevant, so it contributes to part of your passion, which is committing to developing and going towards a goal. And at my work, at my career, my full-time job, I just didn't have the passion anymore because I don't have the goal in working there anymore. I just can't see myself continually working there and actually developing there. So in that sense, I no longer have the passion at work for my full-time job. And then second point, which is also very important to me, which is I can't live my own lifestyle when I'm working full-time, at least when where I was, and I did not want to take another chance at applying for another job and seeing how that works out. I really wanted to just take matters in my own hand and just develop my own business and develop my own lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, when you're an entrepreneur, you're very busy. And, I would find myself working a lot more than even when I was working full-time at my job. It's comparable, and sometimes even more, and sometimes even more stress. But the difference is, I have the flexibility in controlling what happens. I could take time off whenever I want. I could work slower during one individual week or one individual day or one individual period. And, it really doesn't feel like I have the pressure of working for someone else. And that really gives me a lot more flexibility in controlling my life. And that was what really matters a lot to me. During my full-time work, it was, you have to report to someone else, and, you really have to live up to someone else's expectations of you. But when you're an entrepreneur and sometimes you work even harder and longer hours, that's okay because you're working for yourself, and you can give yourself time off whenever you choose. So even though I am working harder, I am working longer hours at times, I can still take time off whenever I want. So the stress is not, that kind of stress is not necessarily there for me to actually go and live my own lifestyle just whenever. Now, number 3 is also very important to me because I actually found this idea out on YouTube about, back in 2015 when I was listening to these business gurus, online business gurus, on talking about how they built their passive income systems. And that was really attractive to me because, in building a passive income, it's like you still put in the same amount or even more work as you would at your full-time job, but what happens is your work is being saved. So you're building something that will create you passive income. So for example, I quit to actually go and work on an e-commerce business and build an e-commerce website. In the very beginning, it would take me hours and hours every day just to build this website, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I was obviously not getting paid during that time because, you know, when your website sucks and it's not developed, you're not going to make any sales. When customers come to your website, they're just going to bounce right off and be like, what the hell is this? I don't want to buy from some not very professional website. So, but you're going to be working on something like that for however long period for you to get it done. For me, it was about a couple months to actually get my website, you know, developed and actually start making sales at that point. But once you get that work in, that work is saved. And it's, you know, after you get through that learning curve, things get easier from there. So your work has actually built upon itself. Versus working full-time, you're consistently putting the work just to get that consistent paycheck. So that was really what I wanted to pursue after I quit my full-time job. And you know, this is my third year. This is almost my 3rd year anniversary after quitting my full-time job. This is 2019, and I quit in 2016. So, you know, I have actually built an e-commerce website, and it's making me consistent income. And now it's like I don't really have to put in the same amount of work I did in the beginning. And what I really have to do is just really looking to how to improve it to actually make more income. But the base income is there, and we can get to, you know, how I'm doing year after year in my next videos. But this concludes my 3 points on why I decided to quit at the age of 27 from my corporate job that I really expected to stay in securely for, you know, the rest of my life. At least that's what I planned out to do when I graduated from college. So this concludes my video for now. If you guys want to leave me any comments, feedbacks, let me know what you think. Please leave it in the video description below. And please subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.